If you're in your 20s and you're broke, it's not because of the economy, it's not because of your parents, it's not because of uh, the course that you did, it's because of the silent decisions that you are making each and every day without realizing that they are decisions. Because at the end of the day, nobody becomes rich by accident, but almost everyone becomes poor by accident. And it all starts right here in your 20s, because 20s is a very crucial age. Your 20s are not a neutral decade. They are not a rehearsal period. Neither are they a time for you to practice. Your 20s are where you set a trajectory for how you will live in your 30s, in your 40s, and in your 50s. Not we don't do this through one major decision, but through tiny habits, unnoticed patterns, and invisible beliefs that we create and live by. And so today we are going to look at the 20 mistakes that quietly build a life of struggle later on, and the mindset shifts that is needed to build a foundation of freedom. It goes without saying that this is not a soft conversation. This is a tough conversation. It's a conversation that hurts. But at the end of the day, someone has got to say the tough things. Before we look at these habits, I want us to look at some amazing statistics. So globally, studies show that over 70% of young adults never receive any real financial education while they're growing up. Not in school, not at home, not in the society. Yet you are expected to make career decisions, you're expected to make degree decisions, loan decisions, relationship decisions, housing decisions, spending decisions, and investment decisions. We do this without having the basic tools to understand money. This is funny because this is like sending someone into a battle without armor. And at the end of the day, blaming them for having wounds, blaming them for having gunshots, blaming them for having knife wounds. No wonder financial anxiety is skyrocketing. No wonder debt is normal, has become normal. And no wonder confusion is the order of the day. So, what do young people do? What do you do in your 20s? You end up copying. You copy your parents. Your parents' beliefs came from survival, not abundance. You also copy from friends. Your friends who are also second guessing. You copy from influencers who are paid to sell illusions but not reality. Then you copy from movies, which are just entertainment but not education. This is how poverty is inherited from one generation to the other, not through money, but through the mindset that we grow up with. Families don't pass down wealth, they pass down attitudes towards money, attitudes towards wealth, and attitudes towards how life should be lived. And unless you break the pattern, it will keep on repeating from your parents to you, from you to your first generation, from your first generation to the subsequent generation. So I have a challenge for you. Where did you get your financial blueprint from? Whose financial goals are you living? Whose financial objectives are you living? Who taught you how much money you should earn? Who taught you how you should earn that money? Who taught you how to spend that money? Who taught you what not to spend on? Who taught you how money grows, how money moves, how money multiplies, how money disappears, how to use money as a tool? And who taught you how to plan, to save, how to invest, or how to build? Now, if you don't know where your financial goals came from, chances are high that they aren't your financial goals. These are basically someone else's financial limitations that are being passed down from one generation to the other. So this lesson, actually not a video, it's a lesson. It will be about mindset shifts, how to avoid these mistakes, because at the end of the day, if you don't avoid them, they're going to affect your future at one point or the other. Mistake number one: living like you are rich before you are rich. The biggest reason why young people stay broke is this: lifestyle inflation, which is disguised as rewarding yourself. Everyone wants to look successful before they actually become successful, especially people in their 20s. So, what do? They buy a nicer car, they buy a luxury car, they buy nicer phones, nicer clothes, night out, Uber everywhere, subscriptions, everything. What are they basically trying to do? They're trying to match the lifestyle of people who have worked for 10, 20 years to earn that kind of lifestyle. But here's the truth: you can't outspend your way into wealth. You can't buy appearance of success and expect to wake up with the reality of it. And we live in a world where the algorithm doesn't help either. You go to IG, you go to TikTok, you go to YouTube, you go to LinkedIn. They show you people your age living like millionaires. But here is the part that no one really tells you: that those people, number one, they're either lying or they're leveraged. Either way, you lose if you copy them at that particular time. Wealth is built in private, yes, flexing is done in public. So stop confusing the two: building wealth and flexing wealth. One is done in private, while the other one is easily done in public. So stop mixing up the two. In your 20s, the goal is simple: invest in assets, not in aesthetics. Mistake number two: not tracking where your money goes. Most young adults in the current generation, most of them are working, and so you don't have a money problem, you have a clarity problem. What do I mean by this? They think, or you think that they think that trying financially until they track their spending for 30 days. And once you start tracking your spending for 30 days, you realize that you are spending so much money on food. You are spending so much money on subscription. You don't even realize that you are spending emotionally and not logically. So the moment you start tracking your money, it shows you a real picture of what's actually happening with your money. So every rich person, every single person tracks their money, track their single cent. But every broke person guesses where their money went. You can't grow what you don't measure. You can't fix what you don't see at the end of the day. So tracking is not budgeting. Tracking is what helps you to create awareness of what is happening. Awareness creates control. Control creates discipline. Discipline creates momentum. And momentum is where wealth is built. It starts with opening your eyes to where every single cent is going. Mistake number three: avoiding skills that actually make you money. This is one of the most damaging mistakes of the 2020s. Young people are collecting degrees, they are collecting masters, they are collecting all kinds of degrees, but they're avoiding the basic skills that actually increase income. According to the World Economic Future reports in January this year, these are the high earning skills: sales, marketing, communication, copywriting, AI literacy, personal branding, problem solving, leadership, and financial literacy. These skills are skills that create income. They are those that create opportunities. They are those that create entrepreneurship and freedom over a long period of time. But most young adults prioritize on the following: vibes, entertainment, convenience, comfort, soft life, social approval, name them. But I want you to listen carefully. Your income is not determined by your age. Your income is determined by your skill set. Skills compound faster than money, and you cannot build wealth with weak skills. You cannot build wealth with the old mindset and with the old skill set. If you're in your 20s, your number one priority, your number one job is not to enjoy life. Your number one job is to build and stack a set of skills and skill sets that will make your life enjoyable forever. Mistake number four: depending on salary alone. A salary is not a security. A salary is dependency. It actually ties you to be dependent to the job, to be dependent to the system. And the most dangerous financial position is having one source of income, which is not rising, but you have got rising expenses. Because why is it dangerous? Because one argument with your boss, one company restructuring, one economic shift, one emergency, one pandemic like the COVID 19 can destabilize your entire life. So everyone talks about multiple streams of income, but it's not about streams of income, it's about having leverage. And what is leverage? Leverage is a skill that generates income, a system that runs while you sleep, a digital product, a side business, freelancing, monetizable audiences, and investments. Wealthy people don't have more jobs. Wealthy people have got more multipliers. So your salary keeps you alive, but your skill set sets you free. Mistake number five is thinking that you have time. This is one of the biggest lies in your 20s. You only think that you have your 30s and your 40s to restructure your life, to put your life in order. You keep saying that I'm still young, I'll figure it out later. But that's a lie. Time fools you because you can't feel it passing. Look around. How many people do you know who suddenly woke up at 30 and shocked that they were actually in 30 and a good number of years had passed? It's worth noting that every year that you delay investing, you delay saving, you delay skill building, you delay discipline, you delay taking risk, you lose one of the most valuable currency that you'll ever have: compound time. Everything compounds. Money compounds. Skills compounds. Knowledge compounds. Interestingly, bad habits also compounds, like procrastination also compounds. You think you are standing still, but you are actually sliding backwards because at the end of the day, nothing actually stands. You are either progressing or digressing. Mistake number six: being afraid of calculated risks. Most people are not broke because they took risks. Most people are broke because they avoided risks. You don't get freedom by staying safe, you get freedom by becoming capable. Every skill that you admire in any successful people, every opportunity, every breakthrough, every successful business, they came from those people taking a particular risks. And not just taking reckless risks, but it's about taking calculated risks. There's no difference between gambling. There's a difference between gambling and growth. Growth requires stepping into the land of unknown. Staying poor requires just one thing: staying comfortable and not taking any risks. Fear doesn't protect wealth, it prevents you from building wealth. So learn how to take risks and how to take timely risks. Mistake number seven, five and seven: building a life on debt instead of discipline. Now, Anytime I talk about debt, it's paramount for me to be clear that debt is not the problem. Debt is actually a tool. Any rich person will tell you that learn how to use debt appropriately, learn how to use debt as a tool. The problem is when debt becomes part of your lifestyle. By this, I mean credit cards for lifestyle. I mean loans for image. I mean buy now, pay later for emotions. I imply borrowing for everything else except assets. If you need a debt to maintain your lifestyle, you don't have a lifestyle, you have a liability. Discipline is expensive at first, but debt is expensive forever. Your 20s must be a decade of discipline. Your 20s must be a decade of desire, must be a decade of purpose, must be a decade of focus. I've got three bonus mistakes. Number one, not healing your money trauma. If you grew up, we are controlled by money psychology, money personalities. If you grew up watching stress around bills, arguments about money, fear of lack, irresponsible spending, confusing messages about wealth, you developed unconsciously financial programming. So you don't just earn with your hands, you earn with your identity. And until you heal the beliefs that sabotage you, until you get to understand the money personalities that drive the decisions that you make about money, you will never be able to grow past that and create real wealth. Bonus number two is your inability to learn how money actually works. Money is a subject, a skill, and a language which has got rules and it has got regulations. If you don't learn the rules, you get ruled by people who know those rules. Financial ignorance is very expensive, and financial literacy gives you financial freedom. Bonus number three, the last one, not leveraging technology and AI. Today, AI is actually bigger than internet. AI is bigger than Bitcoin. AI is the next big thing. The internet is the greatest wealth building machine in history today. Yet, most youth and young people use the internet for entertainment, for comparison, for distraction, instead of using it valuably to learn skills, for business, for opportunities, for income, for tools, and for learning creative activities. They keep saying that AI won't replace your job, but a person who learns how to use AI well will replace your job. As we come to conclusion, your 20s are not for looking rich. They are for building the foundation that lets you be rich the rest of your life. Your 20s are for giving you a sense of direction, for giving you purpose, and for giving you a compass and which you were able to create a good foundation for your wealth. So, wealth is not a miracle, it's a pattern. And poverty is not a curse, it's also a pattern. You have to learn to break the pattern so that you're able to build the other pattern. And it all starts in your 20s. So, if you're in your 20s, you've got one advantage that money can never buy: time. Use it with intention, use time with discipline, use time with clarity, use time to build a life that you really desire in your 30s, in your 40s, and in your 50s. That marks the end of this video. We shall have a series of this video. So if you liked this one, you'll most likely love these other videos that I will attach onto this. And give this video a likes, a thumbs up, and share it with someone in their 20s who like to make their 30s and 40s much better. And until next time, I guess I'll be seeing you soon. So stay tuned.